for today's cup of coffee with Scream.
Double
We got
scream.
extra Scream.
Yeah.
We do. Because our world, our normal everyday life is probably better than a lot of this shit that you're going to read in the newspapers.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And it's like, we do ask for prayers because we had a police officer that was shot and killed last night. We're recording this on August the 10th of 2024. And it was somebody from North Carolina. It was a routine, from the news reports, it was a routine sort of traffic stop, and that the town police, he wouldn't stop.
No,
and
he wouldn't.
So they had called for backup from Smith County. That's the county we live in. I did post the story there on X. And so, dude was 65-year-old man from North Carolina.
65, and he's doing that?
He was 65. And so, there was apparently no indication, of course. And when the county officers went up to the vehicle and stuff like that, he shot them. And the one gentleman was killed, and he was, I think they said he was like 37 years old. He had 3 small children. That
is tragic.
And so
that's usually that's unheard of.
Yeah, it was
around here.
Even our governor of Virginia, Governor Youngkin, had made a statement about it. And that it's like, you know, this was not something that is typical for our area at all. And for this to be somebody from outside of this area. And so the one officer was treated and released. Mm-hmm. And the suspect, you had to call him a suspect, even though he has already been arrested and stuff. It's just, that's all legal bullshit, is all that is, to keep people from speaking truth.
Can we call him the villain?
Well, we don't know the situation. But for whatever reason, by this man's choice, there are 3 kids that will grow up without their father.
Mm-hmm.
So please pray for that family. Now, the other officer, like I said, he's already been released from the hospital.
Yeah.
Suspect is in the hospital.
Soon to be in jail.
Mm-hmm. As soon as he is cleared from as far as the hospital, then he will go directly to jail.
There is no sense in it.
No.
All he had to do was follow, traffic laws.
Well, that's the whole thing. And this is how, when I was growing up, it was a matter of, if you're in trouble, go to the police. You know, seek the police. They will help you and stuff like that. And our world has become so perverse. And it's like, yeah, I mean, small areas and stuff like that, we're not immune from it.
We're not, but it's very rare that happens. And
it was shocking.
Yeah, exactly. It's very shocking.
Yeah. And it's like, it was to the point that I did have a difficulty sleeping last night and stuff, because something like it bothers you. It bothers your spirit.
That is true. It's a thing that was so avoidable.
Mm-hmm. A lot of stuff is avoidable. And it's going to be a long time.
That wife and kids.
Yeah. It's going to be a long time before we find out the story as far as what was going on. You know, that dude decided, obviously he was doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Or...
because you ain't going to be trying to run for no reason at all.
Right. But somebody at 65 years old, you wouldn't think of them doing something like that. That's not typical.
Well, people have been talking about, people are getting like riled up and they're just crashing out whenever something happens.
You know, and it's just one of those that usually in this area, the ones you have to look out for are family members. We kill our own. I mean, that is just mountain culture.
At least we
Has
haven't
been
heard
for-
about that happening in years.
Well, yes and no. I mean, every now and then we'll have something, but it's so rare.
Yeah.
It is so rare. So just please be in prayer, like I said, for everybody, everywhere, because everybody needs it right now. It shows how volatile things are right now. And speaking of volatile, thank God for our buddy Omega, and please pray for him also, because he takes care of us. He takes care of Mom, and because he knows we don't have anybody else.
Right.
And so he had, the kid that was mowing for us has disappeared. I don't know what has happened to him. But it was a blessing that he had, because when Omega was mowing for us yesterday, there was this ginormous yellow jacket nest.
It was huge. It had like a mega nest under the tree stump that's out in the front yard.
Yeah. And it's like the opening, the way they described it, was about the size of a grapefruit. And so he had gotten near that. The yellow jackets had stung him. Mm-hmm. So it was a matter of, well, what do? You pour some gasoline down in the hole and light it and stuff. And it's like, so he and youngest kid were out there playing with fire. And I was up on the porch making Beavis and Butthead jokes.
What?
Fire. And what was incredible, excuse me, I'm going to have to start drinking just my black coffee. The decorative coffee's not working when I record. But it's like it burned for hours. And I mean, there would be these plumes of flame that would go up in this. And it's like, what the hell is going on?
It's still going on, I think.
And he explained that it's like there's some kind of, when they make the hives down in the grounds, it's almost like a paper type substance that they use.
Yeah.
And so this thing must have been huge. And so after the fuel had burned up, then it was the actual bits of hive itself that would catch fire. Mm-hmm. And it would go to a different chamber, and that would catch fire. And you would be sitting there and have a little flame, and all of a sudden it'd go, and he had that flame, and it's just like, well, hell. And yes, it is still smoking, and this is 24 hours later. Oh. And it could be that because the tree stump has been there for
years,
20 years,
yeah,
maybe more. And so it could be that the roots of the tree stump also act as an accelerant. So he had brought the flamethrower, which actually it's a brush burner.
It is a brush burner, but
what
we
did he
just
say
call
it
it
had like 50,000 BTU or something like that on it.
Honestly, I really don't know.
But it uses propane, and I hate propane because you can't see the flame.
No, you cannot. And it is scary.
Yeah.
When you're first using that thing, you can't see the flame at all, and it's like, oh shit, where am I pointing this thing?
Right, and you could get hurt really, really fast doing that.
But I was burning it. Can I tell the part?
Yeah.
I was burning it. And Phil's right there, and then all of a sudden you see a snake, and he's like, Clay!
Yeah.
Snake, that's a rattler! And they just push me out of the way, and it's difficult when that thing is going on. It you can't hear shit.
It makes a roar.
Yeah, it is a loud roaring sound that you can't hear shit over.
Here I am. I'm sitting in the living room. Kid comes in, and he's like, "We about got bit by a rattlesnake, both of us." And I'm like,
"Yeah,
what?" And so Omega, they had obviously, when they were the ditch line, they were trying to, burn that down, which didn't work really good because where we have had rain and stuff and everything's green and it doesn't burn well. And he had to come in and check to make sure that the damn thing hadn't bitten him.
Yeah, he most certainly did. And it's because he was like, my leg's kind of hurting. And I see 2 dots, but that's no actual puncture.
Yeah.
It's like, Shit.
But it
was about to bite both of us.
It had struck at him possibly more than once. And for whatever, he said this was what was very odd. Instead of it running away from them, it had run toward them.
Yeah.
And so it had struck at him and was heading towards Kid.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, after the fact, he's like, if you'd have been out here, you'd have probably had a heart attack. And I'm like, yeah, that's why God had me in the living room. Because that is not something that you want to hear at any time, to sit there and go, yeah, rattlesnakes, striking at us.
Yeah.
And it's just like...
some scary shit. I mean, it wasn't a big one. It was about like maybe a foot.
No, that's more. That's like 2 or 3 foot.
2 or 3 foot. Mm-hmm. It's like 2 or 3 foot. It ain't that big.
And it's a rattlesnake. It's poisonous.
Yes,
I don't care. And Omega was upset. He's like, if he could have dropped the propane tank or whatever.
Yeah, he would have tried to catch it.
Yeah.
He wanted to catch it.
And I'm like, and then what? What would you have done with it? And he sells them to some of these snake handling churches that are still in that area.
Yeah.
I thought they were all gone, but apparently he knows people. And it was just like, oh.
Loves it.
Bees, snakes, flamethrowers.
Fire. Mm-hmm. Fire.
Yeah. And he couldn't hit the stump with the, brush burner the way that he wanted to, because we had a little bit of wind today.
Yeah.
And he was highly concerned that something would go onto the stored hay of the farmer next door. And it's like, yeah, let's don't do that, because that would have been bad.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've got the rolls stacked up against each other and stuff. And it's like, yeah, that'd been, that could have been bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to be no pyromaniac on that shit.
No.
Not on anyone else's stuff.
Not on anybody's stuff. And it's
on our stuff.
Well,
the weeds in our yard.
Yeah. I mean, it's
the bee's nest.
That was crazy. And it's just like the mercies of God, how many times he takes care of us and we don't even know it. Today we definitely knew it.
Yep.
But like I said, it was, now see, our lives actually better and more exciting than the Kardashians.
Y'all want to try to catch a snake?
Oh, God.
Y'all want a rattlesnake? I want a rattlesnake.
Like,
just so I can... I want the
tired.
skin.
I felt tired.
Do you know how much stuff you could... Well, you know very well all the stuff that snake skin is on.
Well, yeah, I was never
cool.
a fan of it, but yeah, he, like I said, he knows people that would buy those things, and that there's people that still do, as far as hat bands and belts and stuff like that, and
it's cool.
Yeah, and it's like for the
dangerous.
Some of the, because we have neighbors. That's why I was laughing, and I was telling, oh God, Kabuki Theater today in our comments and stuff. I was sitting out there fighting with one of the cats, and I'm like, just eat spiders then, idiot. and it's like things that people probably hear from our porch, and then we wonder why our neighbors kind of avoid us. And that's okay. It's okay, because we kind of avoid them too, and everybody has this cool understanding, which is just like leave everybody else alone, because it's mountain culture.
It's the Southern Mountain Goth version of the Addams Family.
Yeah, but they have small children, and the thought of the rattlesnakes and everything like that, and even those bees that could have been harmful to one of those children. Or I mean, Omega had said that when he first put the gas, that was just a ball of bees came out of there.
Ain't fun.
And the animals and stuff like that, because you've always got some of these people, well, leave it alone, let it do.
No, they're going to sting the hell out of us.
Well, not only that, but even as far as the snakes, there are some people that have this warped view. It's like, oh well, don't kill anything. These are people that usually live in the urban environments.
Yeah, very much. They don't understand how dangerous these things actually are.
No, they don't. And it's like, we would rather not have copperheads and rattlesnakes and all those lovely things which kill people.
The garden snakes are welcome.
Yeah, those are fine. The non-poisonous snakes we have no problem with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want them in the house. I don't want them on the porch. Different things like that.
Right.
But as far as and it's always interesting, those people who have that attitude, okay, then let them live out in the woods naked and afraid. They might get a totally different understanding. There's so many people that have this warped vision. I mean, they're not in reality.
No.
And that they're trying to dictate to other people who are in reality.
It's a fairy tale version.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the Disney version of wildlife in reality.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
Yeah.
Speaking of delusions and fairy tales.
The Lululemon.
Yeah, we had totally avoided most stuff. But I did wonder, there on the Olympics, they were talking about this, that this was the first year that breakdancing was an event. It was a category.
Oh my God. And they had the people that they had on there.
Well, now I have seen...
Or the one person.
Over the years, I mean, breakdancing, those people who can do this and do that, you know, do the well, incredible athletes. Now, they learned very quickly, as far as them doing the head spins, that causes baldness. Ha! For real.
That's why they don't do that
because
often.
It started, well, that's why they wear hats a lot of times, too.
Yeah.
But this person, they had it in the news about this person. And I thought, what? And so somebody on X had actually had the performance, if you want to call it that. My response on the video was, is she having a seizure or is she tweaking out?
It could have been a little bit of both.
At one point, honestly, she had laid down on the floor and gone around in circles, and it ever more reminded me of the Three Stooges. You just didn't have the whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah. Or the grandpa from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
From the movie. It's like...
Yeah. But it was the most idiotic thing, and I'm like, okay, everybody was talking about the second-hand embarrassment. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because somebody thought that she was good enough to go to the Olympics and display this in front of the world, but whatever country that she was from also thought the same thing.
Yeah. Isn't there supposed to be testing for the Olympics to get qualified?
There's supposed to be talent. There's supposed to be competitions. This is the ultimate competition, supposedly. Mm-hmm. And this is the first year that I have ever heard of people receiving zeros.
Yeah.
Now, I know that
harsh.
there was somebody that was a swimmer or something like that had gotten a zero. So
this year?
Yeah. Because it had done something, I think it was a diving competition or something like that, and had done something that not good. Not good.
Well, we saw the start of it, and so now we know how it's going to play out. It's just embarrassment.
Yeah. Yeah. But not all of them. And it's one of those that I thought, personally, I would have left. And it's just like that one surfer, and I can't remember if he was from Brazil or where it was, that he had, on his surfboards, he has depiction of Christ.
Right.
And they told him he was not allowed to have that. Yeah.
Well, that's very much
and
telling.
he did leave the competitions.
Yeah.
But there was somebody that from United States that had won medals, and she used that as a platform to profess her faith.
That is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's interesting times. Oh, dear
She's
God,
actually
interesting times.
Yeah, but
And-
that's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, had actually listened to a bit of Rick Levine. I really, and I understand that people who are astrologers and stuff very much are people, and they have their preferences and different things like that. But it is very difficult to listen to some when their political ideology is so in your face, and especially if it's so opposite of someone else's ideology, the message gets skewed. But where I listened to him today, he wasn't bad. You thought it was bad because you hadn't heard worse. I had heard worse. But we ain't done.
No.
We ain't done.
This is gonna be a minute.
And he said that this month, and I think he said September the 6th. Now, the dude from Australia that I had listened to had said that the first 10 days of August was supposed to be the fairly good ones. Today is the 10th, so tomorrow starts. And then he said the next 10 days was going to be not good.
Loves it.
Yeah. And that was one thing that Levine, I will give him credit for this, that as far as him trying, he said, he's like, I'm an astrologer, I'm not a prophet. So that was pretty huge. And for him to say how these things are going to manifest, no. He wasn't going to. I think on some of it, nobody knows. They can see things, you know. It's like shit gonna hit the fan somehow.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's the mountain speak interpretation of what was said.
Brace for impact.
Yeah. But anyhow,
That's lovely.
we have less bees.
We do.
We have less bees.
This ain't the first time that we burned bees out either.
No. The bees have been worse this year, and the past couple of years, but especially this year, than we have ever seen them. And you have to pay attention to that. And anything, the animals, insects, any of this stuff, if you observe them, that can give you a heads up.
It certainly can.
People have forgotten things like that.
And they've all been acting crazy this year. I don't know. I think they know that I have a fear of them, and so they decide to just cluster.
No, it's a matter of them. They would always, have their own place, and it's not like anybody is encroaching on their places, but they're encroaching on our places.
Yeah,
more so than they have in the past.
That is true. Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah.
It ain't good.
Nope. So, bees, snakes, and fire.
Fire.
Yeah,
Loves
and
it.
gratitude. Lots and lots of gratitude.
Oh, yeah.
Final thoughts, kid.
Loves
you
it.
lived.
By the grace of God.
That's it. Every day. Every day.
I had sandals on.
Yeah.
I was a snack ready to be bit into.
How many times have we told you to wear proper footwear when you're doing that type of thing?
But it's hot. It's hot out there.
Well, you make concessions. You make choices. You make choices. I know. It's hell to have to finally accept that you have responsibility and accountability for your actions, doesn't it? There's a lot of people that they just are so in denial on that.
I I'm just there for a good time.
Oh, and I did find a really good video that was about Yuri Bezmenov. I put the link over on X.
I just wanted to play with fire. That's all I wanted to do.
I understand.
Fire.
Yeah, you burn up how many dollars worth of gas there last night?
What? Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, that doesn't magically refill the tank. The jug does not magically refill at this point. Maybe at some point it will be like
It wasn't
the jug
just
of
me.
oil.
It wasn't just me.
I know. So, if you've had experiences with...
We got rid of the bees. Is that not good?
That had to be. And it's a matter of we don't know exactly what all is under that tree stump.
So it was worth the dollars of gas
It
burned.
was. It was a whole lot cheaper than if... I mean, I can't even imagine Exterminator. They'd have done the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the only thing that you could do
That
with
is
that.
all you can do. Yeah.
I wonder if it's still going.
Omega has done this stuff for many, many years.
Yeah.
God.
He's got years of experience,
He
and at this
does.
point, he just fights the bees back.
Yeah.
They pop him, but he's going to smack them in the process.
Yeah. He will. He will fight them. If you've had experiences with paranormal or supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, tinfoil hats, snakes, bees, and or flamethrowers,
Snakes.
you can put that in the comment section there. You can always send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. And that's in the description box. And I'm behind reading emails because I'm overwhelmed. I am overwhelmed.
Yeah. And if you like this video, comment, like, share, most of all, subscribe. Also, check her out on BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube at Orlanda's Cup of Coffee with Scream. Also, check her out on X, previously known as Twitter, Orlanda, COCWS. Go check her out.
Know that you are loved. Treat other people the way that you would like to be treated.
Yeah.
Situational awareness all the time right now. Because we've got people that they have no clue what's going on about the geomagnetic storms, the planetary alignments, any of that stuff. And some of these people are dropping off the edges for real. We don't want anything happening to anybody.
Yeah, no.
And so,
This is some scary shit.
It is some scary shit. So, pray one for another. And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cut.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.